Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get
Often
into it.
drivers face such a situation when the car does not start or starts, but with great difficulty, and the battery shows almost full charge. The cause of such a problem can be sulfation of the power supply. In this article, we will try to understand what battery sulfation is and how to avoid these complications. Sulfation. Sulfation is the process of deposition of lead and calcium salts on the plates of the car battery. This reaction occurs throughout the use of the power pack, but with proper operation it does not cause negative consequences. Only under certain conditions does the process become harmful. When the electrolyte is poured into the battery, very small crystals of lead sulfate are immediately produced, which settle on the plates and form a thin film. If the power supply unit is working properly, this film is converted back into electrolyte when the battery is further recharged. If the battery is not operating properly, the crystals on the plates become larger and gradually cover the entire working surface of the plates, practically clogging them. In this situation, there is no reverse process of crystal conversion to electrolyte. Such a process will very soon clearly affect the operation of the car. Signs of violations in this process. The first signs to which drivers pay attention are a gradual decrease in the capacity of the battery, rapid charging and discharging of the unit. The battery banks can boil quite quickly. Electrolyte values are very low. Even with a fully charged battery, it is almost impossible to start the car, and a simple headlight bulb saps the battery to zero in just a few minutes. The driver has a feeling of insufficient current, i.e., reduced brightness of headlights, poor air conditioning, etc. Sometimes a driver may observe only a few signs of a malfunctioning power supply, and sometimes they appear all at once. How to check the battery? The process of sulfation of the battery plates can be seen by simply inspecting them. Here, it is important to realize that the inspection should only be done with a fully charged battery. This is because uncharged plates always show signs of sulfation. In a battery that is in good condition, the plates are clean and silver in color. They are easily distinguishable from the black-colored separators. If the process has already begun, then negative plates will take on a white-gray tint, but the positive plates will at the same time become brownish with distinct white spots. If no action is taken to treat the battery at this stage, the process will go further and the negative plates will start to bulge, and the positive plates will become corroded. This is due to uneven mechanical stress. As a result of these changes, there is a very large loss of battery capacity. Causes of this process. The reasons for the deposition of crystals on the plates can be quite different. Most often it is temperature fluctuations, critical reduction of electrolyte, prolonged period of time in a discharged state, deep discharge, frequent charging with high currents. Temperature fluctuations. In this situation, the main role is played not just low or very high temperatures, but their strong temperature fluctuations. Everything happens according to the following scheme. Lead sulfate dissolves in sulfuric acid with great difficulty. For this, it is necessary to significantly increase the temperature. In the process of heating, the sulfate dissolves in the electrolyte. After the electrolyte cools down, the sulfate will precipitate again in the form of crystals and settle on the plates. If crystals are not completely dissolved during heating, new crystals will first of all settle on these places, which will gradually turn small crystals into rather large crystals that cannot be dissolved on their own. In this situation, most often suffer positive plates and crystals are formed in deeper porous layers. Read also what it needs: a color indicator on the battery and what its colors mean. Low temperature in addition to simple temperature fluctuations. Battery plates are also affected by low temperatures, albeit in combination with frequent and short journeys. Every driver knows that at high minus temperatures, the car needs more energy to start and the battery charges much slower. With frequent short trips, the car does not have time to warm up well and the battery does not get enough charge, so sooner or later, it will reach a critically low charge. It is this factor that negatively affects the sulfation process. High air temperature, high ambient temperature can also negatively affect the condition of the plates. The battery under such conditions operates at a temperature of about 60 degrees, and all chemical processes in it occur as quickly as possible. Thus, the already started sulfation process will proceed at an accelerated pace. Critical reduction of electrolyte. According to regulations, the battery plates must always be completely covered with electrolyte. After some time of intensive use of the car, the electrolyte level may decrease and the plates may become partially exposed. If the owner of the car does not notice it in time, after some time on these open areas, and will begin the process of formation of sulfate crystals, which gradually become very strong, and it will be impossible to destroy them. Discharged battery. Sometimes inexperienced drivers believe that if the battery is not used, then there will be no deposits on the plates. Alas, this is not the case. When the battery is stored for a long time in a discharged state, it gradually loses part of its capacity, which provokes the formation of crystalline deposits on the plates. But the reverse process of dissolution of these crystals does not occur. Thus, problems with sulfation are almost inevitable, and it will be very difficult to correct the situation. Deep discharge. All discharges of the battery can be brought to acceptable indicators, which is about 1.75 to 1.80 V. Here it is important to remember that the lower the discharge current values, the higher the final voltage can be achieved. A battery pack is made up of several batteries, and as they wear out a little differently, their capacity starts to vary. If the battery is put on full charge for the higher capacity batteries, the weaker ones will get overcharged, i.e., deep discharge. When discharged, they will not be able to completely get rid of the crystalline deposits, and these formations will grow with each excessive discharge. It is important to remember that at deep discharge sulfation occurs almost instantly and after 1 to 2 such discharges to save the battery, and have to take urgent measures. Frequent charging with high current. If you often use a high current when charging the battery, you can face a situation where the lead sulfate on the plates will not have time to dissolve completely. This will continue from charge to charge, and gradually the capacity of the battery will become too low for further use. Ways to cure the battery. After detecting problems with the battery, the driver wonders whether it is necessary to buy a new one or there is a possibility to restore the old battery. Let's consider which batteries are reparable and which are not. It is not worth spending time on the battery if the battery has obvious mechanical damage. The cause of failure is not related to the sulfation process. It may be, for example, closed banks or plates simply destroyed. If all of the above signs of sulfation are clearly visible, then you can try to bring the battery back to life. Desulfation. Desulfation is a process aimed at cleaning the plates from deposits of lead sulfate crystals in various ways, using a special charger. This method requires the purchase of a special charger that has a charge-discharge mode of operation. Such devices cost about 5,000 rubles. The desulfatase process itself is quite simple. We remove the battery from the car and connect it to the device. In this state, we leave the battery for a long time. Sometimes this process can even take several days. The screen of the charger will display information about the level to which the battery capacity has been restored. It is somewhat more difficult to understand how things are with the treatment if the charger does not have a display. Read also, useful and effective methods for quickly studying traffic tickets. Mechanical cleaning. Sometimes there are skillful people who advise you to try to disassemble the battery and manually clean the plates from the plaque. This method is suitable only for very experienced masters and requires a lot of time and skills. Chemical cleaning. Some motorists advise to clean the plates with the help of special solutions that can dissolve sulfate. It takes place in the following way. All the available electrolyte in the battery is drained. Immediately pour in the cleaning solution and leave it for about an hour. The solution may start to boil and spill out. Drain the solution and rinse the battery several times with distilled water. Pour in new electrolyte. If the circumstances are good, the battery capacity and its performance will be fully restored. But this method has one rather significant disadvantage. It is very aggressive. Problems may arise if the plates are too worn out. In the process of such cleaning, they can completely destroy. Another danger in this case can be fallen lead particles, which can under the influence of the solution to short-circuit the plates, which will also completely destroy the battery. by means of a conventional charger. This is the most optimal method of desulfatization, which is ideal for not too neglected cases. Check the electrolyte level and, if necessary, add distilled water to the battery. The solution should completely cover all the plates. It is important to remember that in this case, you can add neither electrolyte nor concentrate. We need a charger with volt and ampere indicators and connect our battery to it. Set volts 14-14, 3 and amp 0, 8-1, and leave it for about 8 to 12 hours. Check the indicators. The density should remain the same, but the voltage should rise to 10 volts. Obligatory, leave the battery alone for 24 hours. Charge again for 8 hours, but with a current of 2 to 2.5 amps. Check the readings again. The voltage will be at 12.7 volts. The density may rise slightly to 1.13. Start the discharge process. We will need a high beam lamp or something similar. Connect it to the battery and leave it for about 8 hours until the voltage drops to 9V. It is very important. The density must remain at the same level. Then repeat the whole charging algorithm. The density should increase to 1.17. The process of discharging charging should be carried out several times. Here it is very important to achieve a density of 1.27 G/cm3. This method may take you from 8 to 14 days, but the battery will be restored to about 90%, and there is virtually no risk of harm. Preventive measures. The lifespan of any battery is approximately 5 years. After this period, the process of sulfation is inevitable, but it can be slowed down a little. To do this, it is desirable to observe simple rules of operation. Do not leave the battery for a long time without charging. Do not abuse charging with a high current. If the need arises, it is best to apply the so-called accelerated charge mode. Do not allow the battery to become completely discharged. Keep an eye on the electrolyte level. Pay special attention to the battery in winter. In conclusion, battery sulfation is a common issue that can significantly impact the performance and lifespan of lead-acid batteries. Understanding the causes, such as prolonged inactivity, undercharging, and high temperatures, is crucial for prevention. By implementing effective strategies like regular maintenance, proper charging practices, and using desulfation devices, you can mitigate this problem and extend the life of your batteries. Remember, proactive care is key to ensuring optimal battery performance and reliability. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found this information helpful in managing your battery health.